Hello? Hello? Are you in there? I'm in here. How come my camera seems a little low? Alright, hold on. Get ready for the ride. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Minutes with Milo show. It's Milo B. Ta-da! So, welcome to my Friday. I hope everybody enjoys it as much as I do. Fridays are kind of depressing. Sometimes I think I'm a half glass empty kind of guy. Why? Because like I said, Fridays are kind of, I don't know, maybe not so exciting because I realize in 3 short days, I gotta go back to work. Another sad thing about my Thursday, my Friday, your Thursday is I gotta start on call tomorrow. Tomorrow, technically at midnight, but for a whole week, it's a whole week people calling with their problems. Oh well, that's the way it goes. They pay me. So, what are you going to do? Win the lottery? Become a millionaire and do nothing? Yes, please. Yes, please. Alright, so tonight's show is, oh, wait a minute. Are we even going out? I haven't checked on my man here. It says I'm live. It says I'm streaming. But does my, go check on my dude over here on YouTube and see if it's going YouTube style. Is it? YouTube style. Yeah, it is. There it is. Okay. I mean, I thought it was, but you never know till you know. Well, what was I saying? Friday, Thursday, they pay me, become a millionaire, sign me up, tonight's show. Okay. So let's just jump right into what I think I was saying was tonight's show is kind of a follow-up to some of my other shows about 3D printing, except on a much grandiose, big, whatever you want to say. I mean, I've heard about this, and I'd heard about it enough to realize it was probably true, but never really thought about it much. And then today I saw a thing on a reel, or what does Instagram call them? Are they all reels, whether it's Facebook or Instagram? Stories? No. Reels? Anyway, little videos. Where some dudes, and I'll have to see if I can find it. I'm running a little behind tonight. Hey, Garthok, what's going on, buddy? I have to see if I can find it. Like I said, I'm running a little behind tonight. So I haven't had time to try to find it. But, so I saw this little video. Same old, same old. Well, it's your Friday tonight too, isn't it? I know it is, unless you've done something drastic and they booted you back to 5 days a week. But I was just saying, yeah, kind of, you think Friday, woo, the weekend, ooh, got things to do, gonna do all it. And then, what creeps in the back of my little mind is, Monday's coming. Monday's gonna be here soon. 3 days isn't very long. Then I realized, smart midnight, I go on call. So, there's another thing, gotta keep the phone with you, answer the phone, maybe go to work, but, yeah, you want to play, you gotta pay. Unless you win the lottery. I discussed that earlier, and you weren't here. But 3D printed homes, kind of a follow-up. Heard about it, knew it was probably real because heard so many stories. Never really gave it a thought. Thought, man, that'd be kind of wild. So I saw this thing today, and it showed. I'm just gonna let the cat out of the bag because I had never even thought about it. They're using concrete. Some people, some companies, I guess, maybe using a different combo. But anyway, it's not plastic. They're not making homes out of plastic. It's like out of concrete or something very close to that. So I didn't put that together really. Like I said, never thought about it. So I saw this little reel, and it showed these guys back in probably the 30s were they it's they did a very simple version. It was round like a silo that they built on the front of this house. And what they did is they erected a center post or scaffolding in the middle, and then they had a long pole that was counterbalanced, I think. Anyway, on the one end was just a funnel and a wheel, and somehow this guy, it showed these guys, they were just taking buckets of concrete and pouring them into this funnel, and this wheel was turning, and it was like a curb. It dropped concrete down out of this funnel, and it moved along, and since it was centered, pegged in the middle, it made a circle on this pole, and it would raise up each time they started a new thing, and it'd raise up and started a new thing, raise up, started a new thing, and they built a round room, porch, front house part onto this house, and let's see if I can find that. I don't know. They called it a machine. All right. We're on it. Unbelievable. Let's set this thing up. I just found a picture. I didn't find the video. I want to try to find the video for you. If I get myself shrunken down right here. Window capture right there. I don't know. That's good for this picture. All right. So see this guy? He's dumping the concrete from a bucket into this funnel thing here, and in here's the piece that goes around, and this makes it go around, I assume. Maybe the motor's on the inside, but see here he's laying out the strip. Let's see. Hope this doesn't get me. Retrotecular 3D printed buildings, 1930s style. All right, so check that out. So they got the thing in the middle. They've got it, set up, and they're using concrete. So this is the article by Dan Maloney, October the 6th, 2021. Here we are in the future thinking we're so fancy and cutting edge with mega scale 3D printers that can extrude complete, ready to occupy buildings, only to find out that some clever inventor came up with essentially the same idea back in the 30s. The inventor in question, one William E. Urschel of Valparaiso, Indiana, really seemed to be onto something with his machine for building walls. As his 1941 patent describes the idea, the first video below gives a good overview of the contraption, which consists of an extruder mounted on an end of a counterweighted boom, the length of which determines the radius of the circular structure produced. The boom swivels on a center mast and is cranked up manually for each course extruded. The business end has a small hopper for what appears to be an exceptionally dry concrete or mortar mix. The hopper has a bunch of cam-driven spades that drive down into the material to push it out of the hopper. The mix is constrained between two rotating discs that trowel the sides smooth and drive the extruder forward. The device has a ravenous appetite, no doubt. As witnessed by the hustle the workers show keeping the machine fed. Well, it's very small. Of course, the bigger it is, the heavier it would be. I mean, the hopper for the funnel to put stuff down into. Window and door openings are handled with a little manual work. The openings are topped with lintels to support the concrete. Clever tools are used to cut pockets for roof rafters, and the finished structure, complete with something I don't know, stucco, looks pretty decent. So on the second video, shows by the late 40s he had made some improvements to the machine. The extruder design had been streamlined, and the number of potentially dangerous pulleys and belts had been reduced. He also added the ability to angle the boom relative to the mast, letting now new courses corbel in over lower courses. I don't know what that is. The beehive-shaped structure that resulted was pretty charming. Okay, so it leaned in, and each course kind of went in like you see this. I've never seen a beehive like what they depict beehives to be. These structures that come up like a haystack. Never seen a beehive like that. All right, so let's see if this is the first video. Did we get sound?
I haven't been able to take my eyes off my husband's pants since he tried this morning.
Gosh.
What happened afterward was unbelievable.
I thought it would be just another quickie, but my husband went hard on me for 2 straight hours after trying a simple secret mixture.
Let's see if we can skip it
might sound
now.
strange.
Oh my gosh, this stupid secret squirrel. There's no sound yet. Wall building machine. Let's get on with it. 11 minutes and 23 seconds. We're not going to watch the whole thing. If it even starts. Hello? Hello? Alright, let's exit full screen here. Okay, maybe not. So look at that thing go. Is this the first course? It must be. Yeah, there's no sound to this one. So don't think you're missing anything. Now I want you to see something real quick. I don't know who this guy is here, but he's got his dress slacks on and his dress shoes. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so let's see. Can we see? Alright, so there it is, laying the first layer, course, whatever you want to call it, extruding concrete. Here we go. So, mixer dudes out here. Here's the mixer dude out here. And there they are. Manual labor. But you can see it set up. There we go. Check that thing out, man. Now see, that's pretty cool, right? So that's just what they're doing today, except better. Yeah, jacked up garden tiller, right? I mean, it's got to be really precise. I could see a problem with, the weight on the end has to keep those level. And it looks like it is extremely level. I mean, you know what I mean? Because see, now he's dumping concrete in it. God, don't put your hand down in there, you dumb dude. God. He's dumping concrete into it. And it's extruding it out. So the weight of this end varies every time he does that. Every time he dumps concrete in, it gets heavy. And as it extrudes it out, it gets lighter. So I don't see how they're keeping that so daggone flat. And look at him. He's going to town dumping that concrete in there. I mean, he's almost ran out. He's down to his last 2 buckets. And he's just dumping them in there and slinging them over the side. So it says at the door, the machine is lifted. I know you can't see that. All right, so here he comes. And this must be this guy here, or you can't see. Let me move this around. So this guy must be the inventor right there. So now they're raising it up to do the next level. And then they start it all over again. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah, it looks like a curb forming machine. Yeah, pretty dry, because that's what it talked about in the description. It had to be a pretty dry mix. I mean, see how he's just dumping it in there? And, it almost looks like he's dumping it in there dry. I mean, it is. But it's got to be just damp enough to... Look at them paddle spoons it's using. Man, that's crazy. But it's got to be just moist enough, right? Like cookie dough to stay in the form. I wonder how long it really lasted. All right. So listen. So that's his first machine. Let's go down here to the second machine. Well, this one's in color, dude. That's all right. This one's in color.
Did you know a metal roof, when properly installed, can last up to 50 years? Speedy Pro Roofing is your Tri-Cities metal roof expert. We use local manufactured metal panels.
Let's just keep it like this. Let's see if you can see the whole thing this time. Maybe this one will have sound. Well, we don't have any sound. No horseplay on the job, dudes. So this is supposed to be some improvements. It is improved since it's in color. Oh, this is the one where it says that it can angle the next level and make like a dome. It can make like a dome structure. Why can't they have sound? It doesn't seem to be pouring it as quick this time. I mean, he's hustling to keep up with it. You know, they got a lot better center post set up. They put a lot of money into it now. They've got metal. Metal structure to hold the arm up. Seems like they'd figure out some better way to load the stupid thing. Dude smoking the pipe. And see, there's that first room I think they built. I mean, it looks like it with the big door. Look at it. It looks like a castle on top. But he liked it so much he's getting another one built. All right, so this wasn't the exact video I saw, but this is what made me start to think about, you know, the 3D printing, that they're using now. And then, you know, of course, looked at it and ascertained that they're using concrete to make this work. Now, I found a site, and apparently this company, man, my internet's going crazy. Why? Why are you making my internet go crazy? I bet it's this one here. I'm gonna cut that out some way or another. Did we do it? Is that the one? No. Oh my gosh. Let's see if we can do this. All my internet feed is gone wonky. And it's usually because of some of the stupid commercials. I've had that window open too long. There it is. Alright, let's get back to it. Get back into this. The reason I put this company up is because it has probably, I won't say the best, but it has this like this. It shows you a little bit how it works. Let me scoot that over. We're going to get that centered up for you. There. Alright, so see how it's laid in there in lines? It's all laid in lines on top of each other. It looks like it, as it turns the curve. Now, by far better than what the dude was making just round buildings, because he could only make round buildings. So, they're spritzing it, I guess to keep it moist. So this SQ4D building full-scale homes is now possible in a matter of hours, not days or months. So if you look at everything that's printed, you can see, and Garthot had talked about this, you take some of the stuff that we learned in my previous video on resin printing. It touched on 3D printing. He talked about resin printing being so much finer. You get such a smoother surface to it, and which is true, you know. The reason I bring that up is these lines in here are kind of reminiscent of what I use, the PLA, the plastic printing. That's not the resin printing, and it's just, you know, the 3D printer that I have prints just like you see this concrete nozzle going round and round, and it makes those lines. So this tells me in this picture they printed this island for the sink. And then these pictures over here, oh, you can highlight them. See, that is just the printed wall. That's not, those are the lines that the machine that's, what? What? Oh my gosh. What did you just do? There now. I don't know how they get the wiring in there. I don't know how they get the wiring. All right, let's go down a little more. See if we've got some other. Only thing I can think of, this would be the crane system set up to hold the print nozzle. So the state-of-the-art rectangular tangential nozzle, patent pending nozzle, allows for increased precision, better stackability, reduced waste, and cleaner paths. Uh, 10 benefits. We'll look at some of these. They got a lot of information. So, these guys are, of course, pumping the concrete. So it's got to be a little wetter mixture. Yeah. Do you think they'd ever be able to resin print a house? Can you imagine? But yeah, that makes a lot smoother lines because it's a lot more precise, like we talked about back in the resin printing show. But on a grand scale, that's why it looks kind of funny. If I look at the little cube that I printed up really close, you can see it, and it's very small. So, you got to look really close. But a house, it doesn't look like, it's not smooth. I wonder if they could smooth it, as it's coming out, like take a trowel and kind of trowel it down. Maybe make it look like stucco or something. And I'm sure later on, once it's cured, they could probably come back and put some kind of finish over it. Maybe 3D print a girl. Meet Kristen Henry, youngest on Business Insider's 20 under 35. Okay. Kristen Henry can build a house in 80 hours with the help from a 3D printer. So let's see what 3D printing technology is. What is it? I want to see some pictures. Emergency housing, emergency relief during disasters, can solve the problem. I'm sure, yeah. 10 benefits of 3D printed homes. Cost efficiency, reduced labor costs. One of the most significant advantages of 3D printed homes is the reduction in labor costs. The traditional construction requires a large workforce, which can be expensive. In contrast, 3D printed automates much of the building process, needing fewer workers and thereby lowering labor costs. Material savings. 3D printing technology uses material with high precision, significantly reducing waste. This precision leads to substantial cost savings as only the necessary amount of material is used. It's faster to build. Traditional construction projects can take several months or even years to complete. 3D printed homes can be erected in a matter of days or weeks. Design flexibility, I don't know. 3D printing allows for the creation of intricate and customized architectural designs that are often difficult or impossible to achieve with traditional methods. Sustainability. Reduce waste. The precision of 3D printing minimizes construction waste. Eco-friendly materials. Many 3D homes are suitable or sustainable or recycled materials. This eco-friendly approach reduces the environmental impact. The layering process used in 3D printing creates robust structures that can withstand environmental stress better than traditionally built homes. Energy efficient. 3D printed homes can be designed with superior insulation, improving their thermal properties. So see this here picture? The walls are apparently hollow. Oh, isn't that something? Some of these are repeats. Labor efficiency, reduced environmental impact, carbon footprint, yada, 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 yada. Right. Technology. I want to see one in work. I want to see one in action. Let's see. Let's go to videos. Just jump right into it. Alright, let's see. Let's just go with this one here. Don't know what it is.
Welcome to CGS Tech. Construction
3D printing is a manufacturing method of depositing a material like concrete, layer by layer, via an extrusion machine that can move autonomously according to the preset layout. This can produce concrete structures with a significant degree of design flexibility and build faster with less manual labor involved. Construction 3D printing has the potential to greatly impact the construction industry. However, there are still significant challenges to overcome. For one, current 3D printers can only print the walls. Everything else needed for a functioning house is done conventionally. Also, the cost of construction. 3D printers with all the accompanying equipment, specialists, transport, and setup is still very high. And until the economics of scale are achieved, widespread adoption is unlikely. Nonetheless, startups around the world are working to bring the technology to the mainstream. In this video, we're going to take a look at some projects and developments in the field of construction 3D printing from this year. Thanks to Jarrett Gross for letting us use some of his footage. If you like to know the latest in construction 3D printing, check out his channel. All the links are in the description below.
Alright, so that brought up a couple of things that I was thinking. I mean, you know, that one place we were looking at is like, oh, it reduced labor cost. You know, you only use the material you need. Oh, it's great. It's good for the environment and all that. And it's like, wait a minute. You know, those all might be true once it's done. But you saw that. I mean, they're setting it up. You know, obviously, you know, in a real 3D printer, the pad moves underneath the, you know, the printer structure. So this one, if you noticed it, it was sitting there, and this rack moved over where the house was. So that thing has to be, if you're building a, you know, I don't know, a 50 by 50 square home, I don't know what you might have, but you see what I'm saying? That thing has to be 50 feet or 60 feet or 70 feet, however, you know, wide it needs to be to print a 50 foot wide house. And then it has to travel another 50 feet up and back. Ooh, look at that. Up and back. Ooh, up and back. Ooh. So that it can print the whole thing. And then they said they were printing just the walls and they were making it hollow, because you have to still run your wiring. You can't print the wiring. You know, you've got to put your switches in. On the outside walls, you have to insulate and all that kind of stuff. So, where it's true that it might cut down some on labor, you know, you still have to have people there to set up the machine, to maintain the machine, to make sure it works the way it's supposed to work. And they're not just hammering nails, so they're getting paid good money to do that job. You know, they're not just some general labor guys that you can pick up and train and have them haul sheetrock and 2x4s and, clean up messes. So, a lot of pay goes on into some of these people, I'm sure. But it is interesting to see that it
The company with
basically
the
the
most
same
success
thing.
so far in bringing this technology to the market is
3D
Cobot,
printing.
or Construction of Buildings on Demand, from Denmark, with their module BOD 2 printer. Together with the Perry Company, one of the industry leaders in construction engineering, which in 2018 acquired a stake in Cobot, they've printed the first ever market-ready house in Germany, followed by the largest 3D printed apartment block in Europe. The first project, a single-family 2-story building with approximately 80 square meters of living space per floor, was the first 3D printed building in Germany to get fully certified under the national government's building regulations, paving the way for larger and more complex projects, like the second project, a multi-family house with 380 square meters of living space divided into 5 apartments across 3 levels. The buildings consist of triple skin cavity walls filled with an insulating material. During the printing process, the printer takes into account the connections for water, electricity, and so on, that are to be laid at a later time, allowing trades to be easily integrated into the printing process. Cobot and Perry are not just printing in Europe. Another project in collaboration with Habitat for Humanity, a nonprofit organization dedicated.
So, that's interesting too. It doesn't look like it uses wire or rebar. Those guys look like he was putting that little bent piece in between, and I'm wondering if that, helps keep a certain distance, because it didn't look like it was adding structure to it. But even putting it down in there when it cured, it would keep that, from flaring out like that potentially. Not from doing anything like this when they work in unison, but just to keep it from flaring or doing something. Because they were getting ready to pour insulation down in it too. So, I did notice in this one I'm looking at right here, see how this looks like it was in a warehouse? I don't know. Part of it is, how do they build it outside? Let's look at this one right here.
"3D printers can print 2-story buildings now. What's next? Windmills? Swimming pools?" What's that? Windmills and swimming pools are what's next? Let's get into it. Belgian company Camp C recently finished construction on its first 3D printed 2-story house.
Yeah.
The 2-story house was printed by a machine.
What you would save, it seems like, in saved materials and saved general labor, you're going to spend in, like you say, machine setup, the engineers to do it, the plans to set it up, to program it. I mean, just to print a square, that thing has to know exactly where it is and all that. Just, and how does it account for the unevenness of ground? I'm sure they're probably pouring footers, but those things aren't glass top smooth. They're not glass top level either. When a brick mason's bricking a home and stuff, he's kind of fudging that a little bit to make it so that all of his courses run level, even though, the wall may not be exactly level. Maybe they are within, I guess they're going to have to be within certain specifications, or they couldn't print on it.
Called the BOD 2 from a company called Cobot, which is short for Construction of Buildings on Demand.
It's a little bit like the little 3D plastic printers. They enlarge it and they feed it with concrete, and then you have a big concrete 3D printer.
The house was built in just 15 days of print time, but those 15 days were spread
15 days of print time. Now this is 2020, because some of those I saw, they could print them in 50 hours now, like less than a little over a week or whatever, I guess. But did you notice this? It looks like these are all shipping containers. It looks like they've encased the home in a fabricated box to print it, and made the walls out of those shipping containers. I mean, because they're printing this home in here now. When it's done, I think it's out in the open.
Days of print time, but those 15 days were spread out over several months in order to accommodate the school schedules of the students working on the project.
We bought our printer in Denmark, so they shipped it, and then with a huge crane, they constructed it again at our site.
The structure of the house was printed in one piece by the BOD 2. And while the printing process is fully autonomous, humans are still needed to set up, monitor, and assist the BOD 2.
There was some human labor. You needed sometimes to put in some bars for distancing between two walls. In the beginning of your day, in the process, you need to see if your mortar is, the consistency is okay. And in the end, of course, you need to clean your printer, of course. There is one man behind the computer. He can see and he can also follow the process by some cameras, which are really on the printer. When the printer is running, it's only one person after the computer, and that's all.
For now, this two-story house remains on display in Belgium alongside the BOD 2 printer that birthed it for visitors to stop by and marvel at. But Campsie also told us that they're planning to turn it into an office space for people to rent out, or perhaps a place for people to live. This two-story home joins other exciting firsts in the field.
So, there was one that talked about the cost, which I'm intrigued with, because that's not what we wanted. Don't do that. Okay, there we go. Oh, I was messing with something else. Anyway. Where is it? What do they cost? Yahoo Finance. So see, 3D printed houses, what do they cost? Are they actually livable? This is 2023, Gabriella Oya. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Look at that. There's your gantry, all your stuff here, your cranes. Printing it, got, supports. 3D printed homes are created using large concrete 3D printers. Typically more affordable than traditional constructed homes. Two important reasons they can have impact on the real estate industry. First, one is the increasing cost of construction. 3D homes are unimaginably cheaper to construct, and it's possible to build a complete house in 24 hours. This is a way to meet the massive demand for homes now. The second one is sustainability. The world is running out of resources, and there will be a way to address it. 3D homes require very few materials. All right. Just as with traditionally constructed homes, 3D printed homes are available at a variety of price points, though they are generally more affordable. Costs are determined by the location and kind of structure, said Rinal Patel, real estate agent and founder of Suburb Realtor, with prices ranging from $10,000 to $400,000. These structures are designed to help improve the cost of housing by providing quality living areas for individuals at an affordable price. Dustin Fox, realtor and owner of Fox Homes, said you should expect to pay $15,000 for a one-bedroom home, and the price goes up from there. Adding one more bedroom will make the home cost about $25,000 to $30,000, he said. If you have a bigger family and you're looking for a four-bedroom house, then expect about $50,000 budget. Depending on how complex the design is, and the price can touch as much as $500,000. Well, yeah, you could print to your heart's content. So, I mean, they don't give you square footage. They don't tell you how much per square foot you can expect to pay. But if you could build a four-bedroom house for $50,000, I mean, I guess that's cheap. And people say, oh, yeah, that's cheap. But think about this. Is that complete? $50,000 turnkey? I mean, taking into everything, light fixtures, locks in the doors. Like I said, turnkey. You hand it to them and it's ready, you hand them the keys and it's ready to move furniture into. Is that what you get for $50,000? Or do you just get it under roof as it's described in, traditional construction, where now all the work's done on the inside, probably just, but what would you think bare bones would mean? Like I said, just being under roof, and it still needs to be wired and plumbed and insulated and all that kind of stuff, or is it pretty much turnkey? So 3D homes are durable enough to be lived in. I mean, that goes without saying. Otherwise, it would be you wouldn't even be having this conversation. Especially if they're made from concrete. A 3D printed home is sturdy enough to protect its occupants from major natural disasters. However, these homes tend to be pretty basic and may not offer all the amenities you would want in a full-time residence. Well, what are you building here? I don't know. What? Well, this isn't the whole thing. That is pretty cool, though, to see it like that. So it still doesn't tell you. All right, let's just see if somewhere it'll tell me cost per square foot 3D printed home. All right. The cost of 3D printing a house varies widely depending on the size and materials used. On average, the cost per square foot for 3D printed houses range from $100 to $400, which is significantly cheaper than traditional construction costs. For example, a small one-bedroom house may cost $15,000, where a larger, we saw that. 3D printed houses costs can range from anywhere from $10,000 to $400,000. So, I mean, I don't see how they can say all right, average per square foot construction. Average per square foot pricing for residential construction. The average price per square foot for residential construction is $100 to $155. The cost of building a new home varies considerably based on location and all of your choices in design and interior and exterior finishes. The 2,800 square foot home costs $280,000 to $560,000 to build if you spend an average of $100 to $200 per square foot. So it if you just look at those basic numbers, it's about the same or more expensive. So it's $100 to $400 on the printed side, and $100 to $155 per square foot on the average side. So this down in here says that building a new home average $150 per square foot. Price per square foot build a home varies by zip code, so your location will cause that number to fluctuate. That's in Forbes magazine says that. So I don't see where they're getting off saying, oh, it's so much cheaper. It's apparently it is not that much cheaper, if at all cheaper. What? I don't see that. That can't be true. Either somebody's lying. Either the 100 to 155 for traditional, or 100 to 400 for printing. That doesn't seem like. Let's see. Top 5. Meth heads. That's not right. But Google, somebody. There we go. All right, here are 5 alternative building methods that can improve your net profit margin by saving time and money. Box blocks, insulated concrete forms, true grid paving systems, cloud-based software and apps, structural insulated panels, and light steel gauge construction. All right, so I've seen these box blocks, and they're pretty cool. They're like Legos. Framing accounts for a significant fraction of the total cost, 17.4%. Builders can save both time and money by choosing box blocks, ICF wall system over wood frame construction. Box blocks provide an all-in-one wall assembly that combines 6 steps into one quick, easy, safe installation. This reduces material and labor needed to accompany wood frame construction, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what this is. True Grid permeable pavers save on construction cost. That's not home construction. Software mobile apps. Wow. Structural insulated panels. Okay. That doesn't seem all that fancy to me. And then steel beams. So box blocks. What else we got? Straw bale houses. Is this a box block here?
Hi, and welcome to Cool Gadgets and Stuff. Choosing a construction system is one of the key decisions you'll have to make when building a new home. Building technologies continuously improve, and in this video we're going to explore some interesting building systems that might offer some advantages compared to conventional construction. This is our 4th video on building systems, so be sure to check out our home building playlist. Hempcrete is a biocomposite construction and insulation material. It's made by mixing the inner woody core of the hemp plant with a lime binder to create a light concrete that retains thermal mass and is highly insulating. Hempcrete is a non-structural material, meaning it doesn't have the compressive strength of a residential-grade concrete, and has to be cast around a timber, steel, or concrete frame. Hempcrete walls are fireproof, regulate moisture, and also resist mold and pests due to the alkalinity of the limestone. It is very suited to areas at risk of seismic activity since it is a low-density material that is resistant to cracking under movement. The material is eco-friendly and carbon negative. This is due to the amount of carbon dioxide stored during the growing and harvesting of the hemp. Hempitecture from Idaho specializes in hemp construction services and hemp wool insulation products. They also work with architects and builders to develop energy-efficient, non-toxic, and eco-sustainable habitats. There are 3 primary ways of building with hempcrete. First is the cast-in-place technique. Here, hempcrete is mixed on-site and packed in between form boards to create site mixing is required. Just stack them along the load-bearing structure, whether it's frame or beams, or use them as an insulated formwork for load-bearing masonry. When the hempcrete wall is finished, an exterior plaster is applied to provide necessary protection from the rain, isohemp, and the environment. Sound walls without any mineral binders, designed so that blocks made of natural perlite. System 3E, developed in Poland, is a dry stack wall construction system based on blocks made of natural perlite, a volcanic mineral with special properties. 3E blocks have a characteristic self-anchoring shape, thanks to which it's possible to construct walls without binder or mortar, in a simple and fast way. The 3E blocks consist of a proprietary mix of natural perlite and mineral binders, designed so that the blocks make maximum use of the unique properties of perlite, like resistance to high temperatures, chemical inertness, thermal insulation, sound absorption, moisture resistance, resistance to pests and mold, and vapor permeability. Because of the unique shape and precise workmanship, 3E elements combine perfectly and in combination with a reinforcing layer of fiberglass mesh, plus external and internal plaster, offers structurally sound walls without any thermal bridges, which is a major source of heat loss for many buildings. 3E systems are suitable for an airy feel, as well as granulating frame walls, and applying filling all microorganisms so you won't get the feeling that the for residential and commercial buildings. Using special bonding technology, light gauge steel structural elements are bonded together with polystyrene foam, delivering a strong, light wall system that installs faster and provides structural framing, insulation, sheathing, and vapor barrier all in one step. Steel SIPs have tremendous strength-to-weight ratio, making them light and easy to install without heavy equipment like cranes. They are also mold, pest, and rot resistant. There are several types of steel SIPs on the market. ThermaSteel is a panelized building system that is capable of providing a non-combustible, load-bearing building envelope. It provides an energy-efficient, continuous polystyrene
All right, so lots of different ways, several different ways to build homes. I just looked at that because, 3D printing is just another alternative way other than, cutting wood and, doing that. But, I mean, I guess a lot of it is, in the case, you got to live someplace where construction companies are actually using that technique to build homes. And if they're not, what are you supposed to do? I mean, you've got to go with, something that's being built in your area. Maybe maybe you're the first one to get them to come to your area. Who knows? But anyway, so 3D printing a home is definitely a thing. I don't think it's as cheap as what they want you to believe. Just because what we looked at was, they were saying, well, it's cheaper, but when you look up, you know, the average construction costs for stick built, it didn't seem to be really any cheaper than, you know, the 3D printed homes. And we didn't even look at the cost of some of this stuff. But see, the thing I liked about when I saw these blocks, and that's not exactly the blocks that I've seen before, but it's the same kind of, you know, theory behind it, is that the one that I saw, there were just regular people building the house. It was laid out. It was almost like Lego blocks. I mean, really, with a plan. So if you had the house plan, the software, however they do it, figures out the number of blocks, the size of blocks, where they go, how they make the doors, how they make the window openings, and all that stuff. And then the only thing you do is you just get your blocks and you start stacking them. And the one that I was looking at, can't remember if they had some kind of reinforcement that went down in it when it was done, but they were just stacking them. And, you know, sometimes they'd have to shape them a little bit to get it, you know, to go together or whatever. But there was a whole video of these man and this woman putting, you know, a house up with these blocks, and they were just using ladders and carrying them around, sitting them down, you know, linking them, and then go back and doing the next one, and off they went, just doing the whole thing. And you know, which is kind of cool. You could just buy your house in, you know, blocks and build it. I don't know. But anyway, 3D printing homes, it's a thing. Printing with, you know, dry concrete, but it's been around since the 40s, even though they couldn't print like square houses. They just printed silo houses, but it's the same kind of thing. Using concrete, extruding it into a usable form is pretty cool. So, if you made it this far, I appreciate it. Garthog, thanks for coming by. I can't remember what ICF stood for. It said it in that one description. I done forgot. I can't fart. If you've made it this far, thank you. Like, subscribe to the channel, leave me some comments. I do have some news. Save it to the end so that, you know, people waiting for news will see it. Nobody waits to the end for news. I was going to start making some more standalone videos. Going to try to start doing that. And I'm using an iPhone like 6 or something as this camera. And it's not mine. I know I've told this story before. It's not mine, so I can't just wipe it clean. So I went ahead and purchased a very reasonably priced action camera. And it is a Queso Brave 4. Very small. I'm still working with it, looking at it. It's got a lot of decent features with it. It's got a front screen. Maybe I'll do a little. I didn't really do an unboxing video. Why? Because the camera gets full. I did put out an unboxing video, and if you watch that unboxing video about the metal shear, the metal cutters, you'll realize that when I opened the box and did it, I had shaved my head. So that was in April. And then when I went back and did the review of should I tell you? When I did the second part of the review, my hair was starting to grow out. So, you know, there's a couple of months have passed by since I did that. And part of the reason being was the phone was full. And like I said, I don't own it. I had to go in and figure out why it was full. And then I figured out why it was full. then I had to delete all my videos off the phone to free up space. But anyway, so I bought this. Like I said, it was reasonably priced. It has a front screen and a back screen that cannot be used at the same time. Like I said, I'll have to do a video. But it came with lots and lots of attachments, and mainly the attachments, I know you can't see me, but I'm leaning over here. Listen, mainly the attachments were for a motorcycle attachment, and it's just that is what they had going on at the time. So, pretty good size thing. I've got this stuck in there, but bicycle, motorcycle attachment goes on the handlebar. And like I said, I'll have to do a review of it, let you know how it works out. But one of the things that it has, it came in the box, is a waterproof case. I don't think I'll be, swimming with it or anything because I don't have a swimming pool. But I want to try to learn to use it. I did set it up on my laptop downstairs, and it does make a decent webcam. So potentially I could use it as a webcam on a laptop and do my show from different places. Right now I have it in my studio upstairs with the big PC, tower PC. So the laptop that I have may be a better candidate for doing the show because it's newer than the tower, I think. I don't know. This is running Windows 7. It runs Windows 10, so it's not burning up the the compute cycles or anything, but still, it's a little newer. So watch for hopefully some more standalone videos coming out. Like I said, I did that product review, and it did all right. I'm looking over my channel and I'm wondering if organizing them into playlists is not confusing people, because you go to the channel and you see the videos, but you don't see the past live streams. You have to go over to the live button, hit it, and then that's where all my past streams are organized. So I don't know. Might be something there. Anyway, appreciate it. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. Until next time. Where's my stop streaming button? Thanks, Garthog. See you later. Holler at me. Bye. Bye.